Well, a lot is being made about Sunderland's start to the season. 3 league wins in a row to start this season for the first time since 1925. Surely the most important factor is its clean sheets without the main centre half. People forgetting that, aren't they? This is the new Sunderland. This is the French baguette Sunderland. It's the Jack Clarke Sunderland. By goodness, it's going well. Welcome to our Black Cats Walk. We've got a lot to get through, and here's 3 very happy Mackems. Roll titles. Remember to turn that down for next week. We'll replace it with the French national anthem as well. We've got Leo, Dylan, and Cal back with us, all fresh from their holidays, and a very happy bunch. How are you, Leo?
Yeah, doing well, especially after that game. I think I said last week this would be a real test to see how Labrissa's Sunderland get on against a top contender and smash it out the park. So doing very well. Good
stuff. We've also got Dylan and Cal back with us from their holidays. Welcome back, fellas. Appreciate you returning to us. If you're new to this, we know there's loads of great Sunderland content out there. We're just a new small fish in a big pond, but drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, because on this channel we are talking, of course, about Jack Clarke and his 15 million. Enough. We're going to talk about transfer policies and just is there one at Sunderland. I want to talk about attendances as well. We're going to talk about Patrick Roberts, Dan Neil, and also talk about deadline day signings. So let's jump straight into it. Dylan, if that's okay with you. Who impressed the most against Burnley?
I think it was there's the obvious people like Romain Mundell getting the goal. I think it was Cal said the other week that he's probably got the most improved this season, and that had never been more true than 3:00 on Saturday. But I was really impressed by him. But we've kept the clean sheet, and I think Luke O'Nien was absolutely outstanding. There was a few, I'd say, probably goal-saving tackles that he made to keep the clean sheet record going. So for me, it would be Luke O'Nien. He was probably my man of the match.
Cal, would you go along with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that obviously with losing Ballard, he was going to be tested, but I think Elise slotted in alongside him quite well, and it just shows O'Nien's experience now as he's settled. He can clearly settle in with anybody beside him, and I thought he was class on Saturday as well.
Leo, lots been made of your start, but the no goals conceded. Okay, it's against Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday. They've both been poor, and a Burnley side who've been scoring goals for fun. So now it shows, doesn't it, that this back four, in fact, the back five, are made of something.
Yeah. These first 3 games just being really resolute, especially the first 2 games and the pressure we had put on us in the first 10 minutes of the first 2 games. Just being really resolute, and then as soon as we go a goal up, they never look like scoring Burnley. I was in no way worried. They had one header that they put wide, but apart from that, I mean, just absolutely solid. And that's the difference in Labrissa's side. Whereas before it was just defend your life away and hope that you don't concede. It's now just shut them down early, so they got no chance of scoring.
Yeah. We'll look at some takes on the game in a second. So we always review the best of Sunderland tweets each week if you're new to the channel. But Dylan, Patrick Roberts features a lot in people's comments this week, and of course he's joined the 100 Club as well. Is this the best you've seen from him?
He's certainly getting back to where he was at that first season back in the Championship. I know last season was sort of maybe a down year for him, but it's always been obvious throughout his career where he's had the quality, and it's his dribbling, his ability to take on players. When he starts running down the right, I never feel like he's going to lose the ball. He might take that trademark cutting shot and send it over the bar, but I never imagine him getting tackled. And he just runs around people with ease, and it's really nice to watch. We haven't had a player like that for a very long time. We've had too many stinkers in recent years, so yeah, he's looking really good at the minute.
Okay. Lots to celebrate here, Cal, in the start of the season. But what have you learned about the manager? I ask this every week, but it's too early to say anything. But what's impressed you most about him? I mean, he's so calm on the touchline, in comparison to others anyway.
I've got to be honest, I am very impressed with him. I don't think he's pulling the wool over people's eyes and just the smoke and mirror job of saying things to try and get people on board. I genuinely think he believes what he's saying, and he believes in the team as well. Previous managers, Michael Beale, would just talk and talk and talk, and he didn't have a clue what he was doing. But Lebris has really he's got his visions on the team, and he's getting the team playing how he wants them to. So I am very impressed with him.
I like his interviews as well. He doesn't calls a spade, doesn't he? Which is refreshing to hear. All right, here's some of the best of social media takes on where Sunderland are. Shane Hagan says, excellent. It's not just his play going forward. 2 assists in 3 games so far. A player of Patrick Roberts' ability to associate as being a luxury player, but he absolutely grafts his backside off as well. Helping Hume, great season ahead for him. And this also says, Leo, this is the happiest I've been since the Mowbray era. First of all, is this the happiest you've been since the Mowbray era?
I think I'm happier right now than I was in the Mowbray era, purely because the Mowbray era was hope and pray that other teams lose around us so we can sneak into the playoffs by the end of it. And I think, especially during that season, that was a big high with the players we had, Jack Clarke, Amad Diallo. And that was a very high point, especially in these last, 7-8 years that we've been down where we are. But I feel like this time, the league is a lot weaker at the top than it was that season, which means that if there is a chance to sneak into high playoffs or even automatics, if we catch the form and continue this form that we're on now, I could see us definitely not just scraping into playoffs, definitely, hoping for automatics.
It's great when the Stadium of Light is a stadium that teams fear, isn't it? Because when it's loud and hostile, it's an awful place for any visiting team. Dylan, you've seen the Patrick Roberts love affair there. It continued. What a wonderful display by Mundell. He's thriving under the responsibility. Himself and Roberts were awesome down the wings. Top of the league, baby. Just talking about the bit there, Dylan, about him helping out Hume as well. Is that something you've noticed as well, that it's just all over the park, defensive and attacking? He's really excelling.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been seeing it on both wings. The sort of the fullbacks coming forward, linking up with each winger, and the link-up play has been really good. They've developed really good chemistry down both wings. You've seen a few the odd back heel, and then while Hume's overlapping to then get forward and put a cross in, and vice versa. I think that they're really getting more confident playing with each other. It's like I haven't seen Robert bounce off a player since we had Amad. I think that's what was missing last season. He didn't really have anyone to play off and link up with. And it looks like him and Hume are developing really good chemistry down the right-hand side. And that's only going to get stronger the more games we play. I mean, as I say, 3 games in and we're sort of blowing teams away, really, and keeping tight at the back, and hopefully just continues going forward.
Okay. Let's stop with this Sunderland love-in now. Let me play devil's advocate a little bit on 3 issues. First issue for you, Cal. Your captain. If he's going to wear the armband going forward, he needs to learn to control himself, because this is not the first time that his mouth has obviously got himself into some bother. Where do you stand on that? Has he got to learn and grow up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not. If it was his first time, you could say, learn from it now. Don't ever do it again. But he did it 2 seasons ago against Borough, and we lost 4-0. Whether he's in the right or in the wrong, at the end of the day, the ref's got the cards in his pocket. If he feels like you're taking the mickey with him or stepping over the line, he's well within his rights to book you. On the other side of that, he should have also put Burnley centre back in the 90th minute. So for doing the exact same thing. But again, Neil, he asked, this is the last time now. Otherwise, people will start getting on his back for petulant fouls and comments to the ref.
Yeah, because if that game ends 1-1, there's only one place people are looking at.
Yeah.
In terms of blame. All right, then the second one is about attendances. Of course, it's mostly Newcastle fans pointing out the gallons of empty seats, and it didn't help that Sky Sports, when they set up the game, you won't have seen it because you were at the ground, but the camera positioned them right behind a set of fans, and they're right behind empty stands right behind them. Are you guys bothered? You've got a huge stadium, so it's never going to. It's always going to be packed out. But are you bothered with the fact that you're going to have this issue of it never being full? Leon?
No, not at all. I mean, it's usually the case every season where we have 4 sellout games, and that's the first and last game of the season, Boxing Day and New Year's, if we play them. They're the only games we ever sell out. We get close to sellouts, yes, but I mean, give us 3 points, and I don't care if there's 10 people in the stadium.
Like I said, yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's a bank holiday weekend, isn't it? There's people going to be away. They're giving us season tickets, I'm sure. The other criticisms then are around transfers. Let's get into that if we can. Let's talk about Jack Clarke first of all. That's obviously the biggest one. What's your view on, first of all, how he went and for what he went for?
Well, I mean, firstly, it's worth noting he clearly wanted to go in the end, but the fact he's played as well as he did in the first 2 games of the season, I mean, a lot of players to try and get him move away with down tools, stop training, stop performing. He never did that. So in terms of the way he's left, you can't really hold anything against him. I wish him all the best. In terms of transfer fee, I think everyone has been quite disgusted by how low we've sold, especially this late in the window. I have seen reports that this is meant to be a sell-on fee, so depending on how much that is, it might soften the blow a little bit. But it's just, you see people like a couple of seasons ago, Keane Lewis Potter went for £19 million, I think it was, from Hull to Brentford. Jack Clarke is a better player than Keane Lewis Potter was at that time, tenfold. So I think just because of the fees that other individuals are going for in the current market, I think that's why some of our fans have got our back up a bit about the fee. But as long as it's spent quickly and cleverly, and it gets us up, I think we'll not have much to complain about come the end of the season.
Aha, and that lies in the next question. So will it be spent quickly and cleverly, Cal? And what, if it is, what on earth evidence have you got to suggest that it will be?
Not a lot at the moment. I think obviously there's the what's his name, the lad from Salzburg, or the Croatian centre forward. If we get him, obviously that's the one. If we get him, then there's obviously some investment behind that. He's in his last year of his contract. They're not going to let him go for free. Young, European international football. You're probably going to have to pay a few quid for him. If we can get Mendy across the line, and the last time I saw that, he was having a medical. It's the world's longest medical under the sun. 3-4 million. You spend sort of 5 or 6 on 2 centre forwards. I think we probably will end up signing another centre back. I've just got a feeling that's going to come through later on. But at the same time, it's not just money that you recruit from sale of players goes into other players. You have running costs of a club that has to be considered. I don't know. I'm not the owner of Sunderland. I couldn't tell you how much it costs to switch the lights on, but you have to think that the money's going to have to go to that as well.
Okay. We got polarised on Twitter, our team this week, Leo, for suggesting that Sunderland have a very poor transfer policy in relation to others, and it's just decisions like the length of time it takes to appoint the manager, the hunt for a striker for the last 3 windows. It's not come about, but crikey, Sunderland fans are passionate, jump straight on her back, saying no, it's fine. There's a plan here that those 15 million is going to get reinvested into at least 3 or 4 players. All right then, Leo. By Friday, what will Sunderland have signed for this to be a good window for you? If it's a position, it's not personnel.
Well, as Carl's just mentioned, we're deep into rumour with 2 strikers right now. So I would say 2 strikers signed through the door. And I could also say, I think I mentioned it last week, that I would like to sign another centre-back just because of our injury record. I could definitely see that becoming a thing, because I look at every other position and we seem to be covered in terms of depth. Centre-back's the one where you really worry, because there's just this fine line between anyone who is good enough to play for our team and start always gets injured. So, another centre-back through the door as well.
Yeah, you spoke well on that last week. Okay, then, Dylan, 2 strikers and a centre-back, and you're a happy man, are you?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. It depends who goes out, really, because there is still talk. Got people like Pembele could be going out, I've heard. Same with Al-Shish. And then it's like, if someone like Pembele goes, who's your backup right back? If Trey Hume gets injured, does maybe Luke O'Neill shift over and play there? And then in that situation, you'd obviously need another centre-back. But as long as the striker situation's addressed first, I'd probably be happy, because obviously we've already got that Wilson Isidore through, who it sounds like, at least for this season, while we've got him on loan, we're not having to actually pay anything for, which you can't complain about. And then he's meant to be able to play off the left as well, cutting inside. So that sort of gives us our left wing cover, especially if Mundell keeps his form up. He should be able to start going forward. So yeah, 2 strikers, centre back, maybe another midfielder if Ekwa goes, and I'd probably be content.
Okay. Cal, you'd be happy with that? Or have you anything else to add to that shopping list?
No, I think Dylan and Leo got a spot on there with who we bring in. I do see some people leaving. I've got to be honest, I wouldn't be too disappointed to see Bar leave. I do think we'd be missing a trick with letting Ashish go, though. I think Ashish has got something about him, but I think he wants to be starting. And from what you've read, he had an issue with Labrie at Lorient before, so I don't know. But yeah, I agree with what Dylan and Leo said in terms of signings.
Okay, we'll talk about Pompey in a second. Before we do that, in the comments below, what's the best deadline day signing or deadline week signing, last minute signing that Sunderland have ever made? Or the worst? These guys are probably going to mention some of the worst ones, but what's the best?
Can only remember the bad ones.
What's the best signing that Sunderland have made in the last week that's gone to had a real impact at the club? I've got one in mind. Let's see if these two can beat mine. All right then, Pompey. Anyone going?
Couldn't get the time off.
I would have to catch a 10-hour flight if I was going to that game, so I don't think so. The most expensive away day I've ever had.
It is ridiculous. At least they haven't moved it till 12:30. Although I'm sure you'll have to do one of those at some point.
Yeah.
They haven't won a game yet, Leo. It's your old mates from League One. First of all, were you happy generally to see Portsmouth back in the league?
I think, I haven't looked if there's any comments on last week's video, but I'm guessing everyone who watched the video was wondering what I was saying when I said I wanted Leeds in the Prem. But yeah, I am happy to see Portsmouth the same way, just purely because they do not deserve to be a League One team. I think that the season that we went up, it was us, Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth, who were sitting around thinking, why are we playing Gillingham at home? No disrespect to Gillingham, but we should be up here playing these types of teams. I've watched highlights of their game against Leeds, and to be honest, they got dominated and just managed to score 3 goals. But still, to get a point as a newly promoted team at Ellen Road, they're no joke. So we can't just switch off and think, all right, we're beating everyone we're playing against now. We still got to stay focused, and going away to Pompey is, it's never an easy game, no matter what level they're playing at.
Yeah, they also got absolutely dominated by Middlesbrough, but nearly won that. Albeit a penalty in the last minute. Dylan's your old Football League trophy mates. You did beat them in the League One playoffs, didn't you? I think it's on your way to be
Our first season, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Does he need to change anything, Dylan? Or obviously you've got the red card to deal with, but other than that, does any changes need to be made? It's an away game against a team that have already scored 5 in the league.
Well, I suppose it's as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As he said there, we'll have Dan Neil unavailable, but I think it's pretty much nailed on that Alan Brown will just slot into that spot and it'll just be hopefully business as usual. However, as you said, Fratton Park's a really hard place to go. I'll not be able to rest until I've seen us win there, because I went every single season in League One and we got absolutely battered. I remember being there in t-shirt and shorts while it was the worst rain I've ever been in, watching Leon Dejaku run past the ball every time I got stuck in the mud, and I still have nightmares about it to this day. I think it would be quite poetic for the Mags if they give us a difficult game. Obviously, with the likes of Matt Ritchie, Elias Sorensen, former players playing there, it would be typical for one of them to come and bite us in the arse. But I think just continue the way we've been playing. It's like, without sounding arrogant, I think some people need to show us a bit more respect, because I've seen people say Chef Wed were bad, Burnley were bad, and I don't think it's the teams playing bad. I think it's our intensity and our pressing. It doesn't let them play the football they want to play, and that should be more of a positive on us than a negative on those teams. But yeah, just keep it up and hopefully walk away with the 3 points.
Absolutely, yeah. Sunderland were, I don't think any pundits' predictions were they to be in the top 2, but
Absolutely. Yeah. He's the one I've found.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Shut up, Gab Sutton. Cal, you're not in the Carabao Cup this week because Preston saw saw you off for that. Does that help, do you think, in any way? Are you bothered with the fact that most teams will be playing midweek and you get a week off?
No, I mean, for a club like us, when I would still say we're in a rebuilding phase, because the cups, if you have a good run, you have a good run. If you don't, you don't. It's not the end of the world. The focus for us should always be on the league until we're a steady club. I mean, going down to League One from the Premier League and rebuilding to now, you're still not back to where you were 8 years ago, 9 years ago, really. So yeah, it gives the guys a good rest. Hopefully, any players that picked up any small little niggles, injuries against Burnley on the weekend can recover, and everybody's backfiring for the weekend.
Smash it.
And also, it'd be nice, just be great to get down to Fratton Park in case Shrek is in the crowd again and tries it on with any of the players. These lads will know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
You'll get it in the comments, I'm sure. All right, speaking of comments then, comment below, what's the best deadline day signing that someone have ever made? Go on, Leo, you hit us first with this one. Good or bad, we'll take either.
As I've said, I can only remember the bad ones. Definitely the one that was most documented was Will Grigg, splashing 4 million on him for him to sit and watch Charlie White put 27 goals in the back of the net. Then I think Dylan mentioned before that if we can count Jermaine Defoe, but only the time he was in the Prem with us, then it's still the name, isn't it? So
second time around,
but I don't have a single memory of a good deadline day signing.
Dylan?
No, as Leo said there, deadline days when we sort of tend to panic and just sign anybody who'll come. I don't even think this was deadline day. I think it came after the deadline. But I remember one year we were that desperate for a goalkeeper. We signed that Mika Dominguez on a free from Boavista. And I think he was at the club for 3 years and did not make a single appearance before leaving. So that's going to be my nomination.
Okay. Cal?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the ones that we've signed, the good ones, I couldn't remember a good one, to be honest, but in terms of waste of money and waste of time, Didier and Dong, 14 million record signing for somebody who was, I can't describe the words for what type of man he is, but let's leave it at that.
Absolute screamer against Crystal Palace, though. I'll always remember that.
I stole a living for the other two years.
Oh no, absolutely. I remember when he thought he was going to get arrested because he didn't show up for pre-season. He thought if he flew back from Gabon, he was going to get lifted. Honestly, we were a mad club, like.
We sent him out on loan for 6 months to Watford to sit on the bench, and if he played one game, they had to sign him, and he didn't play for them. So yes, he stole a living.
Signing right there.
That's our record signing. That's our track record with signings.
Says it all. Thanks for that, Cal. If you can beat any of those, worse or bad, put them in the comments. But Asamoah Gyan back. Year was that 2009, 2010, something like that. I just remember that on deadline day. I think I only remember because my own team, Everton, were about to play something the next game or something like that. And, he was an instant impact player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A decade ago or so now. Right, if you can beat that, comment below. Thank you, folks. Enjoy your trip to Pompey, but enjoy watching it wherever you are. And we'll catch up with you next week. We've got the international break to look at. We're also going to review your window. Has it been good or has it been bad? We will find out. Good luck. Big week for Sunderland. We'll see you next week. Cheers, Dylan and Cal.
Cheers.
Nice one, fellas.
Cheers.